Hi everyone, it's Mel here and welcome back once again to my channel. This week the weather is finally on my side and I can show you guys our full shower setup, as well as I want to explain to you guys a little bit about how we got around showering whenever we're around the UK, where the weather isn't quite great and you can't shower outside, or whenever we're more like urban areas where there's people around, how you can get around that quite affordably. But before we dive into the video, if you guys wouldn't mind taking 2 little seconds to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, I always really appreciate it. And thank you so much to those of you who are new to the channel who've recently subscribed. Don't forget to say hello in the comments. I always love chatting to you guys down there, as well as over on Instagram. You can follow me there too, you're very welcome. It's just at Pebbles and Peach, and that's where I always put a lot of like travel pictures of where we are. At the moment we're in Italy and the weather is absolutely beautiful. I'm loving it. So yeah, today what I wanted to show you guys is our shower setup. But first, something that can be a little bit tricky is showering around the UK and Europe in places where it's a little cooler and we don't quite have the luxury. I know a lot of the videos I've seen, people will join like gyms in America because they're obviously like across different states, and that doesn't really matter. In the UK and Europe you don't really have that. There isn't like one gym that's in all these places, because that would have been great if that had been an option. I would have done that. But over in the UK and over in mainland Europe, it isn't quite like that. There'll be different gyms, different companies, and it's a little bit more awkward to kind of get around showering and stuff that way. What we did do, which was very affordable, was, well, I am not the best swimmer in the world, but something I've been trying to get better at recently is swimming. I think I have a little bit of footage of me trying to swim in Lake Garda the other day. I'm just not a very strong swimmer, but I want to get better. So one thing that we did, especially around the UK, was we just went to swimming pools, or swimming baths, I think they call them some places, and we would go for a swim for half an hour, and then use the shower in the pool, which was absolutely fine. It worked great and it was very affordable. I mean, we would never spend more than £5, if even close to that, going to a swimming pool. But there also is the option, which we did do a couple of times, is if you're near one, just go in and ask if there's a way that you could pay a lower price to use the shower. We literally did that in the UK a couple of times. I think it cost us like £1.50 to go and use a shower, which was fine. In Holland, it's a very awkward place to try and get showered. There's nowhere really remote because it's so densely populated. So what we did was we went to like little sports centres or little swimming pools. I went in and asked, and I think one of the best showers that we had there was like €1 in this little sports centre, and it was a little private room. It was great. So there definitely is a way to get around it if you don't want to shower outside in those countries. But of course there are times whenever you're going to be away from people and away from places like that and you want to shower outside, which is why we do have that option as well. I'll show you guys in a second. The other option is, I've already talked to you guys in my last video about Park4Night. You can literally specifically search for showers on Park4Night and it'll bring up places more like where you can get like outside showers. There's like beaches and stuff where you can do that, or places where there is access to showers. We actually ended up going to a caravan site where you didn't even need to stay at the caravan site. You could just use the shower for a couple of euro. I think it was like €2 for 8 minutes of warm water, which was perfectly fine. You can do that. Or another option is, if you want to stretch the budget a little bit, every so often we stay at campsites where it'll cost like €10, £10. But what you can do there is have your shower, do your laundry, top up your water bottles, which we have done a couple of times. So it's quite nice to do that every 2-3 weeks. Just stay somewhere once and then move on. So those were basically how we got by in places such as the UK, in Belgium, in the Netherlands, where there just isn't a lot of place where you can go be private and shower. But now that we're in the warmer weather and in places where we can be a little bit more remote, we have been making a lot more use out of our shower, which I'm going to show you guys now. You're probably wondering where it is, because if you watched the van tour you probably haven't seen our shower. It's kind of like hidden away in a little hidden storage area that I forgot to show you guys. If you haven't seen the van tour and you do want to check it out, I'll leave it linked below. But yeah, I'm gonna nip out and we'll show you guys where this shower is and how it works. A lot of people, what they would do is open their back doors, hang a shower curtain off there, but our bed actually goes like right to the back of the van. We don't want to get the bed soaked. We also have done our van doors in hardboard, which it is covered in kitchen and bathroom paint, which protects it from water a little bit, but it's not something that you want to get water on because it will go soggy and fall apart, and yeah, just don't want to do that. So the option for putting a shower on the back door for us really wasn't there. So we have come up with another solution with the help of actually my mum came up with this idea, and I'll show you guys now. So what I didn't show you guys in the van tour is in behind our kitchen, which is here obviously. In down here we have a secret little storage area where at the minute we just have like boots that we've been using to walk. If you don't want to put them like in the van and they're a bit grubby or whatever, you can put them behind here. But behind that is our shower curtain, which I will get out and show you guys now. And the solar shower at the minute, it wasn't here last time, but it's just hanging here. I've added a little hook to it, and I basically hook this up the top rack of the van and hang this there, and I'll get it out now and show you guys how it all works. So yeah, this is our shower setup. I know it looks a little bit ridiculous, but it honestly actually works. So basically, I'll show you guys inside. So this is actually a hula hoop with PVC tape wrapped around it. I think I used like 3 or 4 little rolls, and then up here it's kind of all tied together in this very clearly used physics here to tie this all together, and then that string goes up around the side of the van. And then this is basically just a camping solar shower, and it doesn't have much water in it at the minute, but honestly this thing really works. What you can do is either leave it out in the sun flat and it'll heat up in a couple of hours, or you can do what I usually do, which is forget to do that and then just boil the kettle, put some warm water in there and then add some cool water after. But if I can actually show you guys, like this actually comes out at a really good speed. There's not much in it now to give it the pressure behind it. In fact, I think it's pretty much empty. But when this thing goes, it goes, and it's actually get a really decent shower out of it. So yeah, I mean, it works for us. What I did with these curtains is it's actually 2 curtains stitched together down here. This one is weighted and the other one has llamas all over it. It's a little windy now, but honestly it's fine when you're in here. And then this thing is like a little platform where you can stand on it while you get showered. This was like €4 or something. It was in the gardening section of a hardware store. Anyone who's tried to shower outside will know that if you don't have something like this, your feet and your legs just get absolutely filthy. So yeah, this is our shower setup, and you can't really tell from here. I'll do a shot where you guys can see, but this is like pretty damn roomy. So this is the full size. It's actually pretty big in here. There's lots of room. This is a very large hula hoop, and yeah, it works. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let me know what you think of our shower setup. I know it's a little bit weird and different, but honestly it works. We've used this quite a few times and it is absolutely fine. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, leave them below and I'll get back to you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next upload. Bye guys.
I'll raise a glass to you, and you'll raise a glass to me, and when they're half full, we'll top them up with whiskey.